Hello there and welcome back to Satisfactory. Yes, we're back on Satisfactory once again. Good to be continuing a single player playthrough on 1.1. So, if you went here last time, we had gotten quite a lot of the little work done, a lot of the busy work. We got all of the containers in place that I wanted. And inside of those containers, and a lot of them, is hidden a packager for all the different types of liquids that we could package. So we got all of that hooked up, as well as we got the storage containers. There we go. The industrial storage containers are inside of the triple stacked ones with a little uploader on top of them, so that we can upload those packages to the stuff, and then we can pull it out of the dimensional depot to put it into the mall. So today's plan is to, now that we got all that belted and piped, today's plan is to put down all of those generators. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of work. Let's go ahead and get on into it. Let's go. And here we are. All right. Yeah, got some work to do today. This episode's probably going to go out late. In the middle of a big project right now, but I'm kind of waiting for something. So, waiting for some pots at the moment. So I got a little bit of time on my hands. First, we're going to swap this out for... Yeah, the lag. No. Yes. I'll just remove this. I got to change this over to 1 meter. That way it, we get those blueprints down. So the next thing I need to do is I need to put down a bunch of buffers and get them connected to the train station. Because we're going to be having 10 lines of 24 generators. We're going to have 5 lines per side. I think we can fit 24 generators per side. I'm not 100% sure about that though. So, you know, don't be like, you know, you said it would fit. I'm just like, I said it might fit. See, I preface the word might. I preface the sentence with might, I guess. Yeah, I expect a lot of crashes today. That's just how it goes. Yeah, you know what I'm thinking as well? I was like, I'm wondering if a new CPU would stop the crashes. I wonder if that has something to do with it. And it's very possible. Because we know every time I play this game, my CPU is on fire, so. And on fire is just a I guess euphemism for it not working. It's not actually on fire, nor is it overheating. It's just it's very used, we should say. Right now, it's like the I hope I'm at exactly 10. Yeah, this thing's gonna be wider than I intended. But I think it's needed. I'm just gonna go like this, and if I need to swap it out, I'll swap it out at the end for the solid wall. Yes. Gonna put down a whole bunch of foundations. You know, the other day when I was putting down a bunch of foundations, I actually ran my concrete stash out. I have 10 uploaders doing concrete at my concrete factory. 10 uploaders. And I managed to outpace it. With doing this, I was doing this. As you can see, every time I put down a line, it's 70. And if I go fast enough, can actually outpace the uploaders, which is crazy. I mean, you wouldn't think, but yeah, that is pretty crazy. I think this might be enough space. I'm not 100% sure, because each one of my generators takes up 3x3 exactly, because that's the way I've fenced it off. But also, the generators are close enough to 3x3, so it's just like, we'll just use it. But yeah, I'm going to be placing a lot of blueprints today. The game is not going to be too happy with me, I wouldn't imagine. Also, I hope they fit on this because we're getting very close to that beach over there. Yes. Oh, we're going to be running into some rocks. Oh, we're running into land already. Yep. I'm just going to place the 10 and we'll just hope. And if I need to remove some, I will. A little bit of lag there. Jeez, how big is this platform? Lord. Like, you forget how big it actually is until you start placing a bunch of foundations to expand. There we go. Because I know I'm not going any wider this way. At least I don't think I am. I hope I'm not. But if I am, I am, you know. Okay. Yeah, I know we're not doing, I also know we're not doing any crazy builds or anything like that. Ones that are, and what I mean by crazy builds, like ones that are, you know, good looking and stuff like that. Just, you know, we're kind of in a weird spot right now with all of our stuff, so. Really? What did I name it? Oh, I probably named it something like power. Yeah, power plant 1. There's our blueprint. Look at our beautiful blueprint. Okay, so that's the blueprint. At least it doesn't lag out my game when I go to place it, or when I have it out, so. But like I said, I expect a lot of crashes today. And yeah, like I said, I don't know if this episode is going to go out later because, like I said, I'm in the middle of a project right now, but we shall see. I'll go ahead and put this last one down. So the math I did will tell me how long it'll take for all of this to run out, but it won't tell me if. Because like I said, I'm using 20,000 or 20,000. I'm using 2,000 a minute. So one of these tanks is going to be drained within a minute. Or actually, yeah, that is correct. And the reason that's correct is because we're draining all of these at the same time. So all of these are going to be drained within a minute. No, they're not, because each line does. Yeah. So the way I did that was I was like, okay, 2,000 a minute. And we divide that by 10 because there's 10 lines. So it'd be 200. And then, so it'd be 12 minutes worth of fuel. But that, if that would be if I was using 200, right? I don't know. My math is not working correctly. I'm sure somebody will correct me in the comments. Be like, actually, the formula you're looking for is x times y divided by z plus c minus h. You know, going into k. What's the thing that Ada says? That parts purchase confirm, and then it was the something delayed by parts value times fix it stock value. A vacation, I think it was something like that. Anyway. Okay, so that works for that. You know, so we'll say Actually, I might be able to figure that out because, well, no, it would do the same thing, wouldn't it? Well, actually, we don't know. I mean, we're going to be burning 2,000 thing of fuel, but we don't know exactly. We're burning 2,000 fuel a minute, so yeah. But again, like I said, each line doesn't take 24,000 or doesn't take 2,000 a minute. We're not, the whole system's not connected to itself. So I don't think we're going to burn the entire thing before it makes another round. Because each set of generators is only going to be 24. Or each line is only going to be 24 generators, so... Oh, I think I hear our train. There's our train dropping off our fuel. Let me catch this before it finishes uploading. Okay, I'm going to leave the timer running. The timer needs to include offload time as well. Okay. And then, like I said, whatever we take, we're gonna add 2 minutes to it. Or we'll add a full minute to it because it would be slower. Okay. So that took, we'll just say 6 minutes plus 7. So 7 minutes round trip. That also would help include any stops, if there's any trains in the way, anytime the train has to stop or anything like that. It's got to wait. So we'll say 7 minutes round trip. One of these tanks would drain. So we got 2,400, and we divide that because we're burning 2,000 a minute. So we divide that 2,000. That's 200. So yeah, 2,400. We divide that by 200. That gives us 12 minutes. 12 minutes worth of fuel before the tanks run out. But I'm not doing, it doesn't feel like I'm doing that correctly, does it? The math is not mathing, as they say, as the kids say. I mean, I know we're burning 2,000 a minute, so the entire system would be drained within a minute, is what we're saying? Or it'd probably take like a minute and like 10 seconds or something. Well, I guess that did give us our number, right? So if we're burning, yeah, so each pipe is going to be burning around 200 a minute. But the entire system is going to be all connected. So then it is going to be 2,000. So it is 2,000 minutes. Okay, so is that not fast enough then? Well, I'm just trying to decide if I need more tanks or not. That takes 7 minutes. But again, like I say, that this right here is only going to something like that. I don't know. Okay, well, anyway, let me get, you know what? If I need more of these, I'm going to stack them. How about that? We'll take this pipe and we'll go up to the top. So if we need to add more, we're going to have to add 2 more. So basically what that would look like is this. So we'd go from up here, we'd go to here, right? And then we go down here. And then we go down here with that connected to there, and then it goes straight out. And then it's kind of like a water tower, I guess, or kind of like it'd be a fuel tower, I suppose. Then that would kind of get put all together. So yeah, okay. So if we need more tanks, the only way to know is if the the entire thing's online. That's the only way to know, truly. So, but anyway, yeah, let me get all the blueprints in place, and then we'll start pipe work and stuff like that. So we got a little bit to go, but I need to get the blueprints in place. The one thing I'm probably going to end up doing is we're probably going to come out a little bit, but we're probably going to start at this level, and we're probably going to have to staircase up just based on the surroundings. I don't think that is going to fit in there. And then, yeah, everything's going to be underground as well. All the pipes, these are all going to go into the ground, and then we're going to go through our system. You know what? I think I will do a stack of towers, actually. Because if I put pumps on there, then I don't have to worry about flow rate coming out at all, because it's always going to be maxed out if I make a little tower. So if I do this, we get our extra storage, plus we don't have to worry about flow rate at all, because we pump it up to the top, and that's going to be higher than all the generators pretty much. But yeah, like I said, I'm probably going to end up staircasing upwards for the generators, just because we're probably going to run into the landscape. So we're going to have to stair step it upwards in order to make that work. But yeah, that's how I'm going to play this. It'll work out well. So anyway, let me get started on some of that, and we'll see how far we get. Alrighty, yeah, I definitely don't think this episode's going out in time. Considering it's already just about time for it to be released anyway. Because of that major project. I did get it done, though. I did get that major project done just a little bit ago. It was a brake job. This old truck, whoever had it last, had ran the brakes clear past the brake pads into the rotors, and it was a mess. Both rotors were destroyed, pretty much. So, yeah, we had to replace the rotors, and the calipers were stuck. Luckily, they didn't go any further past the. They didn't get past the actual backing plates of those pads, but yeah, they went into the backing plate, and the backing plate's what destroyed the rotors. So luckily, they didn't get into the calipers, which would have been even more pricey to replace. But yeah, so there's that. And I'm still building this. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to fit all of my generators that I wanted in here. 3. It's just not going to happen. And this episode's going to be it's going to be what it is. Because I am very, very exhausted. But we did manage to get the rotors replaced. It got brand new rotors, brand new brake pads. I greased all the slide pins and got everything working. Got the calipers unfrozen. They were actually frozen. I had to loosen the bleeder screw, and I have this special brake tool that actually spreads, or it's actually got like a ratcheting, it's a ratcheting tool, and it's got 2 plates on either side. And what you do is you stick it in there, you get the plates as close as it can to where you could stick it in the caliper, and then you ratchet it, and it spreads out those plates. And then what it does, it pushes those pistons back into the caliper itself. I know this is probably foreign language to anybody, to anybody who's listening. If you don't know vehicles, apologies for that. But yeah, got the brake job done though. I had to take out I had to loosen the bleeder screws to even get the calipers off, because they had worn so far into the discs that there was a very deep lip on the outer edge. So just to get those calipers off is like take the bleeder screw out, and then I had to take a pry bar and actually push in on the caliper, just to push the pistons in enough so I could get it off of there, because it was just stuck, would not come off. It'd been on there for a long time. They've been running the brakes like that for a while. It was so bad, and the caliper was so frozen that one side of one of the discs, one side was perfectly fine. It just had a deep, had that deep, they had that deep groove in there with the lip, and then the other side was was probably about half the thickness, because you got two discs. Technically it's one disc, but it's two discs of metal welded together essentially, with cooling fins in the middle. One side was half the thickness of the other. They had been running like that for a long time, and when you get the calipers that push that far out, and all that heat that's generated and stuff like that, and whatnot, it tends to especially running that long without doing any kind of brake job or anything, tends to help the calipers freeze up. But luckily we did manage to get the calipers unfrozen and whatnot, and got some cleaner brake fluid in there, and got some brand new brake shoes, got brand new brake pads. I took the slide pins out, cleaned them. Luckily they weren't rusted. They weren't completely seized. Luckily they didn't have any grease in them. They were bone dry, but they were not frozen, luckily. So I did get lucky on that particular thing. So just talking about the the brake job that I just did a little bit ago. Had to take time away from recording in order to make that happen. But that's one of my little side gigs, being a shade tree mechanic. Like, if you don't want to spend hundreds of dollars on labor costs and stuff like that, you bring your vehicle to me. and I'll charge you a pretty cheap rate. So I mean, you'll still get labor costs, but very little. And you can buy your own parts. You can go out and buy your own parts. I don't have any accounts with any part stores or anything, to where I have to buy the parts in order to make any money. That kind of thing. I just make very little. But so for what I can do, I don't do any serious jobs or anything, at least not anymore. I have done serious jobs like motor rebuilds and stuff like that, but yeah, I don't do stuff like that anymore. Not able to. But I can do like brake jobs and stuff. Those are pretty simple, and I've done quite a few brake jobs in my time, and I'm not gonna sit here and I'm not being paid by the hour necessarily. I mean, technically I am, but not in the sense of, well, I'm just gonna waste your time type of deal. Like, look, I'm working out in the sun, I'm working out in the heat, I want to get that job, and I've got other stuff to do, like with, YouTube and stuff, so it's like I'm just gonna get the job done. I'm not gonna waste your time. Not to say that all shops do that. It's just some shops. I'm not gonna say that it doesn't happen. It's some shops do, and most shops will be pretty fair, but there are some out there. I know one specific one in my area that, oh yeah. Like if they can charge you, for doing very little, they're going to do it. Not going to say any names, obviously. We don't need any defamation lawsuits, but yeah, I'm not going to say where the area I live in or anything like that either. But they are pretty terrible. But yeah, for those little simple jobs that I can do. I also tell people, it's just like don't expect this to be done within the next hour or whatever. I'm not a professional. I'm not running a shop here or anything like that. I don't even have a shop. It's called Shade Tree Mechanics for a reason. You work outside, out in the sun. Like, shade tree is just the name for it, although, you know, it'd be nice to be in a shade tree. Oh, this is gonna... Oh, I'm gonna have grass in my... Wait, actually... No, this one doesn't matter, right? Yeah, I'm thinking about building like this, but like I said, I'm not going to be able to put all of the towers that I want in here. I might get half, if that. This might be the last one I'm able to put down. But yeah, got that bright. Well, once we got all the new stuff on, it wasn't too bad. I say we. Me mainly. Yeah, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Okay. But yeah, it's not gonna fit. Definitely not gonna fit in here. All this. Like I said, I was going to go up a slope, but in order for this to fit, I would need 10 lines of what I have here. So we've got 3 lines so far. We're working on our 4th line. Like I said, this might be my last one, but I'm hoping to get one more in. Then at least I have half of the generators that I wanted, at the very least. At least we would hope. Yeah, this is taking a while. I've actually had to rebuild this a few times because it wasn't working. And actually, this where I have my generators and stuff, this is supposed to be the center, but it's no longer the center. I did have to move it over because of that cliff right there. That cliff right there stopped me from being able to be perfectly centered. I would have ran into the cliffside, which is kind of unfortunate. I could scooch this over even further this way, but I don't think... Like, I'd have to scooch it pretty far to avoid that. I mean, we still might end up doing it, but we'll see. If I can, like I said, if I can get at least 5 lines, then I know I'm good. And then what we do is we just take the other half of the heavy oil that we bring, or that we do with this, and we just take that and we just package it and sink it, I think. At least for now. Because I'm not rebuilding that. The only other way to fix this, it would be to move the whole facility down. Basically take all of this and move it over about 100 foundations, put out into the ocean. I could do that, but I think people would consider it cheating. There is a way I could do it. There is an absolute way I could do it, and it might, although it might screw up a lot of stuff. We might have to rebuild a lot of belts, but there is a thing, if you guys haven't heard of it, called Satisfactory Calculator. Satisfactory Calculator, you can actually take stuff on your map in your game. You can actually move it within the world. Like I said, it might be cheating, but it might be necessary. It might absolutely be necessary. Basically, what I would do with that, though, is I take this whole thing, and let's say we take it from here, and we scooch it over to like here, kind of. But yeah, we scooch it over to where I could fit all of my generators in here. Obviously, we're gonna need pumps now because we're going really high. I mean, I could do the single step up if I did that. Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, I'm not going to spend, another 50, 60 hours tearing apart this entire thing and then scooching it over. I'm not going to do that because I've already got everything hooked up. It's just like it would take way too long. I would have to basically repeat all of Monday and Tuesday in order to scooch that over. But yeah, what I'd probably do is end up taking it and putting it out there along that line. But like I said, I'll leave that up to you guys. If you guys say it's fine to do that, I'll do that. If not, then we'll just leave what we got here. It'd be nice to be able to have all 240 generators, but they're definitely not fitting here. I way underestimated the amount of space I had back there. That was my fault, of course. Oops. Yeah, placing the generators, actually, knock on wood, but I actually haven't crashed yet. I haven't crashed yet today, so pretty happy about that. But yeah, it would be nice to have all 10 lines here. But again, like I said, I would kind of consider it cheating to move that, although we did do something similar like that in Season 4. But of course, we also had mods in Season 4. Or Season 3, sorry. In Season 3, we had mods. But yeah, I would kind of consider it cheating, but you know, maybe we'll put it to the vote. You know what, I just might do that. And I'll specifically say to watch this episode, but we could put it to a vote in the community tab. I think that would be a cool idea. Let the community decide whether we move the power over. I'll have to specifically explain it, I'm sure, but oops. Good thing it didn't register that I clicked that. But yeah, if we could move this whole thing over. Man, I actually do like having the steep steps like that. That's pretty nice. Should be able to take off with that. I had to put down some whatchamacallits. Some whatchamacallits. I had to put down some of those industrial storage containers so I could basically tear this apart and rebuild it again. And then what I would do with that particular style is we'd go up to one more step, up to 5, and then have 2 lines of 5 at the very top, and then we would maybe stair step it back down the other way. That'd be kind of cool. But yeah, you know, I think I might leave it to a vote. It is not something that I'm going to do lightly. It's not something that I'm going to, you know, plan on doing in the future again. It's not something I want to do. It's just, yeah, we're kind of too far into this build to move it manually by hand. But like I said, I'll leave it up to I'll leave it up to you guys to vote on that. Hopefully I don't forget. That would be a really cool idea, though. But basically, the vote would be using Satisfactory Calculator, because it's basically an outside program essentially. We use the Satisfactory Calculator website to take this entire power station and shift it out into the ocean further, so that we can fit all of our generators. That'll be the vote for that. You know, and like I said, it's just, yeah, it would take way too long to move it all by hand, and that's why I'm not willing to do it. You know, if people say though, it's just like, nope, that's cheating, or you know, go ahead and move it. We'll do whatever. And if you know, people vote, say, hey, nope, you can't do that. That's cheating. You can't do that. Be like, okay. And then we just won't have our extra generators, which I'm fine with too. I'm fine with doing that. I'm fine with creating basically what we'd have to do at that point though is we'd have to create a separate little facility over here that would take all of our heavy oil and actually package it at a decent speed. Because right now we only have one packager, doing heavy oil, and we have to put down some sinks and stuff like that. It's either that or we package the fuel over here, the ionized fuel, and we sink that. That would make a lot of tickets, though. Would that make a lot of tickets? Would package ionized fuel be worth a lot? Actually, it's been a while since I've actually thought about since I thought about the items point values. It has been a long time. They probably changed a lot of point values too, so things are not worth as much, or things are worth more, or, you know, whatever it happened to be. Yeah, I'm out of quartz crystal. I need some more uploaders on the quartz crystal. I say that, and then I go and put a few more uploaders on it, and then I end up outpacing it again. I'm not even, that's what the funny thing is too, is it's not even that crazy. It's only 104, but yeah, when you get to placing a lot of these. It takes so much. I just need to place one more. And then we could actually center, or I could recenter this as well. Basically scooch it over. But yeah, that we actually did in season 3 though, because part of our city build ended up running to a major issue. And what we did was we cut off a chunk of the city and scooched it over about, what was it, about 5 or 6 foundations, just so we could have a road in there. That was actually quite fun, because we spent like 2 or 3 days fixing the gap, because there was this like this 6 foundation gap in between. It looked like a friggin' earthquake that come through and ripped the city apart. Yeah, like I said, I'll leave it to a vote. We can scooch this whole thing over. But the one thing I did want to do is I do want to see if we can fit another line here. So basically do this. So there's our 3. Right, it's 3. 2, 3. Okay. But yeah, Satisfactory calculator is really good for that kind of stuff. Like, I don't necessarily consider it cheating. I just consider, I mean, I do like I said, I kind of consider it cheating just because we're using an outside tool. But at the same time, it's not cheating because I'm not adding anything. I'm not removing anything either. I'm just moving something. I'm just basically saving myself about 60 hours worth of work by moving something. You know, we can get into a whole debate, but like I said, I'm not going to make it a regular thing or anything like that. Power. Oh, I'm out of power. No, it doesn't look like we're going to be able to fit another line. So, yep, I'll definitely leave that up to you guys. Okay. So we won't be able to fit another line of generators. So if we're not allowed to move it, what do we got? We got 24 times 4. 96 generators. 96 generators at, was it 625? I believe is the product. What? Oh, I'm not looking at the course. 625. So, okay. So 96 times 625. Waiting for the autosave. That's 60,000 megawatts. That's not bad. It's not great, but it's not bad either. I mean, how much are we actually producing at the moment? Let's see. We're producing 83,000, but that we're boosted 43,000. So we're actually producing 40,000 megawatts. That'd be 100. I'd be sitting at 100,000, but my maximum consumption is 149,000. So I mean, I'm not usually worried about the maximum consumption, but yeah, we are. We're actually not doing too bad. I mean, we still got plenty of time before we need to use our ionized fuel anyway. So, but I can let the vote go until Friday, and Friday will reveal whether we're allowed to move this or not. I think that would work out wonderfully. It's just, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Yeah, so we won't be able to get the power station done right today. I think this is as far as we'll take it. And then we'll put that to a vote. And then while the vote's going on, what should we do in the meantime? While the vote is going on, maybe we should move our way out to... Okay, we need to go up to the aluminum factory, and we need to get a train station going for aluminum ingots so that we can work on that tomorrow. So tomorrow, next time's plan is to go up to the aluminum factory, which is up over that cliff. It's up over the cliffside. It's in the bamboo forest. We go up to the aluminum factory. We get ourselves like either an external building. Maybe we do an external building, maybe on the opposite side, or just whatever works. We get ourselves another train station 5 car. That's all we need. We don't need a 10 car, obviously. And then we send it over to our packaging facility, which is up here. The empty canister factory. I'm going to call this the packaging, or what kind of factory? Because it's going to be making both. But yeah, so the canister factory actually needs to also be expanded. So next time we'll put up a train station up there. We'll get a separate building for it, or make it as a part of the building. Doesn't really matter. I don't really care. Whichever we decide to do it, just need to make it work. And then we send those aluminum ingots over to the empty canister facility, and then we expand the empty canister facility. We need to expand it by 2 train stations, so we basically need to take what we have there and double it. So that'll be Thursday and Friday, and then maybe Monday we'll come back after the vote. Either Friday or Monday we'll come back after the vote. I'm not going to say which day because I'm not really sure right now. But we'll come back after the vote, and then we'll decide what we're going to do at the power station. Finish the power station up, whatever happens. We'll finish the power station up, and then we'll move on from there to start making factories again. Like the computer factory, just all the other factories that we need to get to finish phase 5. So I think that'd be a really good idea. Yeah, that actually looks really cool. You know what? I actually like the step thing. I'm definitely keeping it. But yeah, I'm really hoping that we can actually move this whole thing. We basically on Satisfactory Calculator, the way the tool works is you use the map function, and you basically select this whole thing, and then you take it and you move it over. I actually need to where's the train right now? Okay, the train's not here. But what I actually need to do, is this the train coming down right now? No. Okay, what I need to do is I need to wait for the train to come back and get over on this side. We need to delete the train. But yeah, so we take this whole thing, we select it all, and then we scooch it out that way and put it out into the ocean. So after the vote, I will then reveal it. I've already moved it by then. By the time we go to reveal it, but if we're if we're allowed to do that. But I'll put it up on the community tab, so look out on the community tab for that vote. That vote will probably be up before this episode's out, but just I want to get it done while I'm thinking about it, of course. But yeah, we'll get that up there, and then we'll scooch this whole thing over. Hopefully we'll scooch this whole thing over out into the ocean. I mean, that makes sense for the dock anyway, because the dock does need to be further out. And then, yeah, we'll be able to make the whole power station, all 240 generators. I just miscalculated my space, like I said, so it's my fault. That's why I'm putting it up for a vote. I'm not making the executive decision either way. I'm putting it to a vote, and you guys decide what's what. So let's remove this, remove that. Okay. So now we can remove this train. I'll have to turn off. Whoa! Did you guys see that? I don't think I've ever had that happen before. I mean, I think that was the lighting, or the train lights, but I've never had them like completely engulf my screen when I deleted it like that. That was insane. Okay, so there goes that train. That train is gone. So yeah, and we'll get preparation in for this. I have to do a little bit of preparation before I make that happen, but then yeah, so yeah, we'll say Friday is the last day for the vote, and then we'll fix it Monday. And then that gives us ample time to do the whole empty canister thing, because I need both empty canisters and the fluid tanks, which is the pressurized tanks. I need both of those. So yeah. Anyway, with that though, that is going to be it for this episode of Satisfactory. I know it's a little bit lackluster today. Apologies for that, but you know, let's connect power via this way instead. We can just easily do this. There, now we have power again. Yeah, just a little bit, you know, exhausted from my projects and stuff. I call them my project, my freaking automotive projects. You know, that kind of stuff. But anyway, like I said, that is going to be it. So I do hope you enjoyed. Oh, and before you go, I'd like to give a huge shout out and thank you to all of the investors you can see on your screen right now. Seriously, thank you. You guys are awesome. It is much appreciated. And until next time, I guess it's a goodbye.